The Seattle Seahawks are preparing to make big strides in one particular category on offense. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. We have made it to Tuesday, and I saw something very interesting last night. I saw something very exciting last night, and I want to talk about it. And I saw it from a couple different places. I'm going to highlight this particular tweet on my screen here from Hayden Winks, because I think Hayden Winks actually follows me on X, so I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put this particular tweet in the spotlight because it highlights something that I think is really, really good, really, really cool, and if you are a Seahawks fan, should be very, very compelling. So last week, coming out of that Chargers game, one of the videos I made highlighted some statistics from the defense with regard to their coverage tendencies, which were very, very varied, and their pressure rate, which was extremely high. So this week, we're going to be doing a similar thing with the offense, and we're not really going to talk about, like, success rate so much here, because obviously that's... We're not so worried about that, right? We're talking about a game where they played with their backup and third-string quarterback. They had backup wide receivers that are maybe not even going to make the team playing a lot. We had backup tight ends, backup offensive linemen. Like, it's not about the fact that the team played great and put up 40 points, because obviously they didn't, but you wouldn't really expect them to when you have barely any starters playing. Bradford, maybe Christian Haynes, and that's it. But what we did have was our starting offensive coordinator, and he's doing something pretty interesting here. So we're going to take a look at these numbers. I already have them on screen. If you're looking at the screen, you've already seen them. But before we start digesting this, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. If you do, click the thumbs up button down below. It helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to help out the channel. So, Hayden Winks has this tweet here. Like I said, I saw it in a couple other places, but I'm going to go ahead and look at it here. The Seahawks are using motion on offense. The Seahawks are using motion unlike we've seen them use it in a very long time. Probably ever, if you want to be pedantic with it. Maybe not scaled to the rest of the league, but in terms of percentage, I doubt it's ever been higher than this. And you got to believe that what they're doing in the preseason is going to reflect the regular season. So, according to this, through the first two preseason games, and every team's played two except for, the Bears and the Texans, the Seahawks are second in the league at using motion. So, we have one team ahead of them. It's the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are breaking the world. They're at 80%. Which is a crazy high percentage. That would be probably the highest in the history of the NFL by a good margin if they match that in the regular season. And then you kind of have the rest of the world, where you have the Seahawks here at number 2 at 70. That's more than the 49ers. The 49ers are actually 1% behind at 69. Now, obviously, we're talking about 1%. That's one or two plays so far because we've only played 2 games each. But the point is, we're in the same part of the conversation as a team like the 49ers when using motion. We are in the same tier, the same breath. Like the Dolphins are by themselves, and then that next tier is going to be the Seahawks, the 49ers, probably a couple other teams. And the important part is you're there. It doesn't really matter where exactly in the tier you are, but you're there. And motion is something that we as Seahawks fans, I think, have been wanting for a very long time. I will never forget, there was a game that the Seahawks played against the Rams in 2019. It was in LA. They blew us out. I think it was like 28-10 or something, 28. Maybe we scored a garbage time touchdown to make it a little closer. But they got us. They whipped us pretty good. And I remember one of the things that Carroll said coming out of that game, because their offense got the better of us all day long. And one thing he said was, they use a lot of motion in their offense, and it really throws our defense off, dealing with motion. And I remember hearing that and thinking to myself, This Seahawks offense is notorious for not using a lot of motion. And that's been the case over two different offensive coordinators, because at that point it was Schottenheimer and before him Bevel. And I thought to myself, like, if you have such a hard time dealing with it, why wouldn't you want your offense to implement it? Because if it works really well against you and you think you're good, and obviously Pete Carroll thinks he's good and he thinks the defenses he coaches are going to be good, why would you not take that and then say, I'm going to wield this as a weapon on my side of it? So yeah, maybe I won't be so good at stopping it, but I'm going to at least be using it on my side. Maybe the other team won't be so good at stopping it, and I can at least equal it out. And while the Seahawks made steps over the last 5 years improving in their usage of motion, they never really got anywhere near the top of the league in using it. This could be the year where that really changes. And motion can come in many different ways, and looking at Ryan Grubb at UW, looking at the way he utilized the offense there, I think he has a good understanding of that. Usually when people think about motion, they think about a receiver going from left to right on the field, lined up on the left side, goes to the right side, so he can get a little bit of a running start, or just make the defense reveal if they're playing man or zone there. They think about maybe like a running back lining up wide and then coming back. Maybe they think about a wide receiver going in motion, so he has a running start for a jet sweep type play or a fake jet sweep, that kind of stuff. But there was this cool tweet here from Nate Tice that I wanted to highlight. He's got Seahawks with a great example of how tight end motion at the snap can create new angles in the run game. It completely shifts the point of attack before the defense can adjust. And I usually don't play game footage on video here, but I want to quickly show what's going on here. You've got AJ Barner right here. He's lined up in the slot, basically. And I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through quickly here, and you can see even something as simple as this is motion. He's going left to right across the field at the snap, and all he's doing is coming across to lay kind of a seal block on the edge to open up a run lane opportunity for, I think this is McIntosh here, and creates a big play where there probably would not have been one before, because you can see where the defender was before AJ Barner gets in there. So something as simple as this creates a big play where there probably would have been not very much going on. If not for AJ Barner doing this, who knows what this play ends up looking like? Obviously, you would think the right tackle would then go out and get that player, and then the line would shift over a little bit. But the point is, you're shifting the point of attack before the defense can adjust, is kind of the thing I want to draw attention to there. And this is kind of the essence of pre-snap motion, or motion at the snap. The defense is settled in, looking at one thing, and then they're suddenly looking at something else. They have to change what they're planning on doing, and sometimes they don't, because it happens so quickly. As a defender in the NFL, you're already thinking about so much stuff. You really don't want to be thinking about a bunch of guys moving around right as the ball is snapped. But something as simple as this turned what would have been, maybe like a normal 4-yard run into I think this was like a 12-yard run or something. So it can be as simple as a tight end going right to left to right to lay a seal block on the edge. All right, so you can see the many ways in which this can be effective. So sometimes pre-snap motion you assume would be a little bit of a bigger thing than that. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes it can be as simple as what I just showed. So really cool. See you guys later. More videos coming later, but I really wanted to talk about this because this is exciting. All right, go Hawks.